Well, very good morning, guys. Very good morning, everyone. Yeah. Can you hear me? Okay then. Okay, fine. Um, yeah, last class where we have been talking, we have just been discussing about tag helpers, right? We have just been discussing about the concept of the tag helpers. What are these tag helpers? I already explained in the last session to you. What are the tag helpers? Okay, and also I shown you how to use the tag helpers in your code. How to use the tag helpers in your code, and we created a login page by using the tag helpers. Okay, and then we have been discussing about MVC tag helpers. So then we talked about what is the tag helper, what the tag helper provides to us, and also what are the various tag helpers we have. Okay, so finally we just been stopped at here. The first tag helper I explained is the form tag helper. The first tag helper is the form tag helper. When we use the form tag helper, so what did I say? We require to use the attribute ASP-controller, ASP-action. Volume I cannot increase here. You need to increase. My volume is full.
How about now? Is it okay now? Fine now? Neelam. Neelam and full purple now. Yeah.
Should be fine. What happened? Don't understand. It should be fine. Now good? Okay. Fine. Okay. Yeah, what we are talking, we just been discussing about the form tag helper. If at all you see the form tag helper, this is a form tag helper what we just been talking about. So the form tag helper. The form tag helper basically what it does, it provides you the form tag. So we require to use some attributes. What attributes? ASP-controller and ASP-action. We just use the attributes ASP-controller and ASP-action are the attributes what we just use. So when we use these attributes, internally what it is going to do, it is going to write you method is equals to post, action is equals to /home /login, /home /login. Second thing I shown you is when you're defining a route, I said you when we're defining a route, we can give a name for the route. Guys, remember, when we are defining a route, we can give a name to the route. Yeah, we can give a name to the route. How do you give a name to the route? See, route is this one. Name is register route. What is the name? Register route. So when you are creating a form tag, you can directly write ASP-route. You can directly write ASP-route and the route name. When you write the route name, automatically the route name will be taken for you here. This also I given explanation in the last class, right? Up to here I said you. Finally, form action tag helper. Yeah, I was just telling you about this one, guys. What is it is? Whenever you try to have two submit buttons, where the two submit buttons have to submit to two different pages or two different action methods. You have two submit buttons, and the two submit buttons has to submit the data to two separate action methods. Okay. So you just have two separate action methods. And these two separate action methods, two separate submit buttons. Each submit button has to submit the data to two separate action methods. That's what exactly the requirement is. That is what exactly the requirement is. Okay. Two separate action methods it has to invoke. If that is the case, if at all it has to separate to two separate action methods, how do we do that? See, guys, watch it. I have two action methods here. The name of the first action method is login. The name of the second action method is register. And you guys observe, for both of them, I'm giving a route and a name. What is the name? Login route, register route. One is the login route and one is the register route. Okay, now one is the login route and one is the register route. How to write the code? Say, we have one form tag. For the form, don't write action at all. For the form tag, don't write the action. Without writing the action, how you can write, button, ASP controller, and ASP action login. Button, ASP controller, account register. See, we can have two different submit buttons here, two separate submit buttons, where they are going to submit to a different place now. Where they're going to submit to a separate place. Means this is going to submit the data. This is going to submit the data to login. And this is going to submit the data to register. Without that, if at all you want to give, you can give a route name also. You can give the route name without writing controller name, action name. You can write route name. So the two buttons are going to submit to two separate action methods. Did you understand this one? This is where I stopped in the last class. Last class I was explaining about this and stopped. What is that? If at all I have login page one side and register page one side, where login has to invoke login action, register has to invoke register action, I require to use two separate form tags, I said. But here, without using two separate form tags, in a single form tag only, we can just use. In a single form tag only, we can just use. Okay. So this is about like what we just call it as a form action tag helper. The form action, it will generate you the form's action automatically based on these values. Based on these values, it will generate you the form action automatically. Next one, input tag helper. The input tag helper will render you a HTML input element. The input tag helper renders you HTML input element. Already last class we used it. Do you remember? Input, we used an attribute ASP for, and here what you require to write is the expression. Expression is nothing but our property name. Expression is nothing but our property name. Okay, this is our property name. And see, input tag helper sets the HTML type attribute based on the .NET type. See, the input tag helper will set the HTML type attribute based on the .NET type. The below table lists some of the common .NET types in generated HTML. You remember last day we already saw when the property is Boolean type, it generated a checkbox for you. Same way, if it is string type, generates a text box. If it is date time, generates your date time local. If it is a byte or int or single or double, it generates your number. Input type is equals to number. And also don't forget the following table shows some common data annotation attributes that the input tag helper will map. This also is shown in the previous session if you remember. When I used email address, it generated your input type is email. If I use the annotation URL, it will generate you input type URL. If I say hidden, it will generate you hidden. If I say phone, it will generate you telephone. Last class, I shown you this also. Password generates you password. If it is date, generates you date. If it is time, generates you time. Already in the last class, we saw email, we saw password, and also we saw Boolean. All these three things I shown you. Where email generated you input type is equals to email. Password generated you input type is equals to password. And other thing, what is that? Checkbox is generated you when I say like the data type as Boolean. Either data types here, otherwise annotations. First annotation here. If annotation is not there, then it will take data type. Okay. Next, select tab helper. What is the select tag helper? This generates your drop down. This generates your drop down. If at all you want to generate any drop down, you can get it. Guys, if at all you have a drop down or list box, you need a set of values now. Suppose it has to generate you a drop down or a list box. You require a set of values. What values? What values to be displayed in the drop down or the list box? What values should be displayed in the drop down or the list box? Okay. How do you do that? See, already ASP for I said you. What is the use of ASP for? ASP for is to bind the property name. ASP for is to bind the property name. To bind the property name, we use ASP for. To bind the items. See, to bind the items, we used another attribute called ASP-items. I'll show you one example. Watch. There is a model class now, country model. And in that there's a property country. So now for a drop-down list, in the ASP for, I will use country. In the ASP for, I will use country. So country property is bound to drop-down list. But drop-down list requires elements now. How I'm defining the elements? See, I created a list. See what's this? I created a list. What is the name? What is the name? Countries. Read-only property. Read-only property. And what is this one? Select list item. You already learned about select list item. In this, I added all the items. How many items are added? 6 items, value and text. Now, take these countries and bind it to ASP items. So when I bind to ASP items, automatically these 6 countries will be shown in the drop-down. And binding property will be country. Did you understand? You can see ASP for country, ASP items, model.countries. The model.countries property will bind the list box, to the drop-down list. It will bind the list box to the drop-down list. Suppose if you guys are expecting if you guys are just expecting here, guys, if you're just guys are expecting a list box, if you are expecting a list box, what you do is very simple, guys. This country property is of type string. Country property is of type string. String means accepts only single value. If the country property is of type enumerable, enumerable or a list, then it is multi-selection. Very simple. See here. If the country property is a enumerable of list, then it is a list box. If it is a string, then it is a drop-down. So what type of control should be generated is based on this particular data type. If it is scalar, drop-down list will come. If it is a list, list box will come. See here, same concept only. Now also ASP for country, but this is enumerable, so it will generate you list box. Guys, 5 minutes back I asked you a question. Did you understand? No response. Are you there? Are you getting my point? Are you understanding? Okay. So this is how we create the drop-down list and the list box. The first one is to create a drop-down. The second one is to create a list box. Next one. Anchor tag. You know anchor tag. I don't require to give an explanation for an anchor tag. Anchor tag. How do we use anchor tag? Guys, watch it. Route. Name student get. Now in the anchor tag, you can directly write ASP controller and ASP action. ASP controller, ASP action. Or otherwise, ASP route. You can directly give the route name. Array, nothing here. This ASP controller is to explicitly tell the controller name. ASP action is to tell the action method name. Without these two, directly you can say the route name. What is the route name? Student get. So the control automatically jumps to the student get route. This is how we use anchor tags. This is how we use anchor tags. We used these anchor tags a lot in our MVC5 for edit link. You recollect yourself, edit link, delete link, view link, all these are anchor tags only. So now how do we used to write there? We used to write there in the same style, @HTML dot action link, the link text, after the link text, action method name, comma, controller name. That's how we used to write. So here how you write is just the regular anchor tag only, but use ASP controller attribute, ASP action attribute. And this is the text what we want. I mean, simply speaking, I'll show you the difference. If you are working with MVC5, or otherwise if you're working with ASP.NET, how did you generate an action link? HTML dot action link, view. The text is view. I want the text as a view, comma. The controller name, something like a display student. Sorry, action method name, display student. Next, the controller name, something like student's controller. Next, an edit view. How do you write? Edit. Then a delete view. How do you write? Delete. This is edit student and this is delete student. Remember, this is how we created action links in ASP.NET. If at all you want to create the ASP.NET MVC, in ASP.NET MVC, this is how we created the action links. Suppose if you're working with ASP.NET Core, how do you write, the regular anchor tag. Okay. ASP hyphen controller is equals to, what is the controller name? Students controller. Next, ASP hyphen action name. What is the action method name? Display student. Next, what is the text you want to see? View by anchor tag. And here I want to see edit. And here I want to see delete. Action method names will differ. Here display, here edit student, and here delete student. Got it, guys? This is ASP.NET MVC, and this is ASP.NET MVC core. So here we are using the tag helpers, and the coding will be say like regular HTML. Okay. Next. Yeah, image tag helper. Image tag helper. What is this image tag helper? Okay, this image tag helper actually already explained to you in the last class also. Like when we are working with images, whenever you want to change the image, compulsory the image name should be changed. And if you change the image name, what is the problem? You're required to use that name in different locations. You're required to use that name in different places. I'll show you for a best example. Let me create a project here. Yeah, I'm creating a new project here. Product opening. Mhm. Create a new project. Oh, no, no, my system is very slow today. No, no. Just loading, guys. Yes, what is that role base form? I'm not aware here. No, Shubham. I am not aware of JWT tokens, Vishal. I'm not aware of it. No, Shubham, you can't do that. Create a ASP.NET Core empty. Click next. Yeah. Let me. Last class we created one project now, MVC tag helper, sir. Some name I don't remember. Just a second, please. Yeah, this is what we created, MVC core tag helpers. Click next. Configure for HTTPS. Do not use top level elements. Open program.cs. Builder dot. Generally, we create separate here. We don't create same. We create separate only. We don't create same. Services dot add controller with views. Next, use static files. Next, we define the route pattern. Last I said you, this name and all are not mandatory. Simply we can give default here. It's a better call, that's all. Yeah, here are all the things what we done. What next? Add a folder. We'll name this folder as www root. Add another folder, controllers. And then we had a folder you called as models. Come to the models. Let's add a class. Login model. Yeah, we need to remove that map. Oh, sorry, we need to remove it. Yesterday we just been first created one model class. Okay. Next step, add a controller. What is the name? I think we given the name as account controller. Account controller. Login. Right click, go for add view. Razor view empty. Login dot HTML. And also right click on the views folder. Add a view. Razor view empty. And here I shown you an option called as view imports, Razer view imports. And here we are just going to write at the rate using tag helper start models. Now come to login, and in the login you can simply say at the rate model. What is the model name? Login model. And then you can put up all the HTML coding. We forgot to install Bootstrap, huh? Okay. Edit. Client side library. Twitter Bootstrap. www root, under that lib folder, and that I want to create a folder called Bootstrap install. Add under property. Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, is it fine now? I was just talking low here. I was just doing all the things what I explained to you. I was talking low, that's all. Is it fine now? I was just only doing what I just shown you. So I was just not speaking louder there. Okay. Copy the form tag like this and put it here. That's it. Yeah, this is all already explained to you in the previous session. This is what I have done. So you can just use the login. You can just use the login. Fine. Now I wanted to show you the image tag helper, guys. I wanted to show you the image tag helper. So what is the problem with images and how the image tag helper can resolve the problem? I'll just show you. Are you clearer? What is the problem with the image tag helper and how to resolve those particular problem? Let me show you. We'll do one thing, guys. Let us go to our account controller. In the account controller, I am adding two more action methods. Have a look. One is index and one is register. Already we have login. Now I added index and register. These are the two action methods what I added. One is index and one is register. Okay, now two action methods what I added. Let's also create a views. For index, I'm just using add view. Creating an index view. Same like that for register also. Let me add a view. Register.cshtml. Okay, I created the two views to you here. Now, let's do one thing. Let us do one thing. What? I have the www root folder now. In the www root folder, Let me add a folder called as images. Images. In the images, I'm just going to add a existing item, an image I want to add. I want to add an image here. D drive. On my computer, I have images folder. I have an image for register, guys. Registration image. Yeah, this is the image. Register.jpg. Okay, now? Now let me write the code in the register, guys. Observe this, all of you. Simple code here, nothing complex. In the header, I used a link tag referring to my bootstrap file. Where is it? Lib bootstrap CSS bootstrap.css. I'm using a link to my my file, and here I'm using an image. I'm using an image. For this image, I'm using a class. This is a built-in class of bootstrap class I'm using. Let me run this. And nothing special here, very simple code, that's all. Okay, run. Project is configured to use SSL. Yeah, nothing here. It is asking it is configured for SSL. Do you want to install it? That's all. Again, it's running on. So let me change to IS Express. Yeah. Account register. Yeah, registration form open. You can see the image is loaded. You can see the image is loaded. This is the image what I used, and the image got loaded. Okay. Now what happened, the client did not like this image. The client did not like this image. He has given you another image now. He has given you another image. Okay. So when you given another image, now let me load the new image, guys. Yeah, this is the new image what the client has given. And the client is expecting us to launch this image here. The client is expecting us to launch this particular image. Okay, the new image. Generally, guys, what we do when we get a new image, what we generally do? Array, without using that image name in all the places, because that image name, suppose the register.jpg image is used in multiple places. Now the new image is register2.jpg. Without changing the image name in all the files, what we do? We change the name of the image. We have simply changed the name of the image. So see now all of you, register2.jpg is there without changing the name in the code. Because if I change the name in the code, what is the problem, Suppose tomorrow if you use this in 10 places, in all 10 places you should change the name. So without that, what is the best option? The best option is all of us think like, let us rename this new image. Let us rename this new image as register. If you rename the new image as register, automatically the new image has to come. But when I run this, guys, all of you observe, even though you put a new image and change its name, the browser basically caches. The browser basically caches. See, what are you getting? Old one or new one? Come on, respond. What are you getting? Old one or new one? You're getting the old image. You're not getting the new image. If you want to get the new image, guys, the only solution that is available is you require to change the name. See, I require to change the name in my CS. Means here, if I change the name, then only I'll get the new image. Here, if I change the name, then only I will get the new image. Otherwise, I won't get the new image. But so what is the problem of changing? The problem of changing is tomorrow if I use that in 10 places, in all the 10 places, this name should be updated. In all the 10 places, the name should be updated, which becomes complicated here. Suppose if you forget to update in one place, again, that is going to show you old one. That is going to show you the old one. Okay. So, but unfortunately, the solution for resolving this particular problem is renaming only. But when you just talk about MVC core, in ASP.NET MVC, the tag helpers has given you a beautiful option to you. What is that option? I'll tell you. I'm changing the name back to register, guys. I changed the name back to register. But when I run this and observe, I will see the old image, but not the new image. I will see the old image, but not the new image. And to resolve this particular problem, we are provided with an attribute called as ASP hyphen. Did I import the tag helpers? I think I did not import the tag helpers. Yes, I did not import the tag helpers. In the view imports, I did not import the tag helpers. And guys, remember, if at all you want to import the tag helpers, I just said you at the rate tag helper, star, comma, and the namespace name. At the rate tag helpers, sorry. Star, comma, the namespace name. The namespace name is Microsoft.asp.NET Core.mvc.tag helpers. That is the namespace. Okay. Now you will be getting an attribute here, guys, a new attribute, ASP hyphen append version is equals to, I think it's a Boolean value, true. ASP hyphen append version. When I use this attribute ASP hyphen append version, what it does, for the image name, it will append a version number. For the image name, it will append a version number. What is the version number? The version number is a alphanumeric string that is generated based on the content of the image. That is implicitly generated. That is generated based on the content of the image. All of you watch the image once. See, all of you got an image. This is the new image what I expected. This is the new image what I expected. If you go and see the view page source, all of you, for the image here, it is going to concatenate a version number. Observe, all of you. For the image, it concatenates a version number. It's an alphanumeric string here that is implicitly generated. How it generates is we don't know, but it generates you a version number like this. Okay. Now tomorrow in your application, you want to change the image. Okay, all of you observe. You want to change the image. All of you again see. I am renaming this register.jpg as register2 and this register1 as register. I'm expecting this image to load now. I'm expecting this image to load now. Sorry, guys. This is, I'm sorry, I done wrong. This is register 2 and this is register. Yeah, I'm expecting my previous image to load. Put your mouse here, you will see the image. Yeah, that is the image I want to load. Okay, and not this image. This image is what I want to load. Yeah, no need. Simply the name is register.jpg, but still you will get the register image. See, got it? See, you go to view page source, all of you. If you go to the view page source and see, it has a different version number. Means image name changed off. Now image name changed here, but I am not writing any code to change the image name. I am not writing any code to change the image name. That is all implicit. You can go back to your code again rename them, again start renaming, make this as register 1 and make this as register. Make this as register. See now, the new name, the new image should come automatically. Are you guys clear? Okay. So what is the new attribute we have? ASP-append version. ASP-append version is the new attribute what we have. If I use the ASP-append version, automatically that will generate a version number and concatenate with the image, so that automatically image name changes. Automatically the image name changes. But only thing is now I am not responsible to change the name. Who will take care? That is completely taken care by like a the MVC core. That is completely taken care by the MVC core. Okay. Next. One more thing I just wanted to show you. Now let me come to the index page. We have one more page here, index, all of you. Second page, index. This is index form. Index form. This is the index form. This is the second page, index page. So in this index page also, I have a requirement of using Bootstrap. I have a requirement of using Bootstrap. Okay, I'm using Bootstrap here also. And guys, I'm just trying to, use a Bootstrap here. See all of you. Tomorrow, when I'm using Bootstrap or JavaScript or any of these particular files, do you remember, it will be loading those files into the client machine. It will be loading that files into client machine. And to decrease that button, we just use the concept called as a bundling and minification. We just use a concept called bundling and minification. All these files, what we call assets, I already explained about this, assets. These assets are all loaded on the client machine. Remember that? If I send a request to index.cshtml, index.cshtml will in turn send a request to bootstrap.css and load the bootstrap.css. Okay. Tomorrow means all these particular files we just put on the client machine. We put on the server. And whenever the clients are calling them, these assets will be loaded on the client machines. These assets will be loaded onto client machines. It will load you the assets in the client machines. To avoid this particular problem, the people who are working in the real time, anyone working in the real time might have an idea about it. To avoid this particular problem, we have a concept called as CDN, Content Delivery Network. Guys, are you aware of it? And remember this one, right now you downloaded Bootstrap, even that from CDN only. When you downloaded the Bootstrap, when you launched it, recollect? When you launched it, the provider CDN, it is going to load from this particular CDN, Content Delivery Network. It will load you from that. Tomorrow, guys, in the real-time environment, we just use the content delivery networks. What are the content? Without downloading all these particular files to the client machine, we'll be using CDN links. CDN links means a directory linking to a server. Means all these bootstrap files and everything is put on the server side. So directly loading them from the server, without again loading from the client. Directly we'll give a server link. How do we give? See, observe this. How do you give a server link? Suppose, for example, I'm putting a button here. Input type is equals to submit. Value is equals to login. Okay, value is equals to submit only. Class is equals to, I'm using btn hyphen primary. btn hyphen primary. Run this. No, CDN doesn't support in core. Anywhere it supports. It supports anywhere here. Yeah, you got a submit button. Submit button is using a styling code. It is using a styling code. All of you observe this one. I am removing the link tag. When you guys remove the link tag, now, you're just removing the link tag and running it. And now it should not apply the styling. It should not apply the styling now. Styling should not be applied now. See, the styling code did not apply now. If I want the styling code to be applied, what should I use? I require to use Bootstrap here. And suppose if I come back here and I using Bootstrap and run the code. Yeah, the styling is applied. And if you recollect, I already shown you what is that. Hit F12 on your browser. When you hit F12, it loads you the content delivery network. Then go to sources. Yeah, when you go to the sources, here it will show you. Basically, internally, it is going to load a lot of things. It is going to show you the bootstrap.css file is loaded. Have you noticed it? The bootstrap.css file is downloaded onto the client machine. Okay. So in the real time here, without using the files manually from the project, we use CDN links, content delivery network links. Delete this one. Once run again. So now you see no styling applied. And if at all you hit F12 and watch, if at all you see F12 and watch, here see the bootstrap file is not loaded now. The bootstrap file is not loaded. That's why here we did not see the styling applied. Styling is not applying here. Okay. Now just watch it, all of you. Go to Google. Just search for bootstrap CDN link. Bootstrap CDN link. When you say bootstrap CDN link, so you can read what is bootstrap CDN. Bootstrap CDN is a distribution of most popular CSS framework in the world using a content delivery network. It's a geographically distributed group of servers that work together to provide faster delivery of internet content. Okay, so there is a bootstrap CDN link. Go to the site, get started. Then go to the site, getbootstrap.com. There is a site, guys, getbootstrap.com. Just Google, go there. And here you can see bootstrap CDN, all of you. You can see the bootstrap CDN. Just a minute. This is showing the old one. Twitter bootstrap CDN link. Yeah, CDN.js. Yes, guys, CDN.js. We also downloaded from there only, CDN.js. That is the site. We also downloaded from there on. And the latest is 5.2.2. If you see, you'll be finding up the bootstrap CDN. See here, the first link. The latest version. No, this is JS. We need CSS. We need CSS. Yes, this one. Watch it, all of you. This is the link. Twitter Bootstrap 5.2.2 CSS bootstrap.min.css. This is the file. Copy the URL. Guys, for you, I'm pasting it in the, I'm pasting this for you in the chat window. Copy it. Or otherwise, just to download in the way what I showed. Okay. Now use the CDN link here. Use the CDN link here. How to use the CDN link? Just observe. Nothing, guys. Without using a physical path, without using the physical path, remove this physical path. And there you're required to put the CDN link. Remove the physical path, and there you're required to put the physical link. No, guys, here we'll get the complete link text. Complete copy link text will be there. Complete link text will come. This is the correct one. Complete link text will come. Use that. Without pasting it like this. The complete link text. It uses some attribute. Say style sheet, href is equals to some extra attributes also with there. Integrity, cross origin, refer policy. Some additional attributes are there. It uses all those attributes. Now run your file. Run your file. /account. And all of you watch Bootstrap is applied. Bootstrap is applied now. And click on F12. And when you click on F12, and just go for here. The Bootstrap file is downloaded, see. Now also downloaded. Yes, now also it downloads. But it will download from directly server. It will directly download from this server. So I don't require to again download Bootstrap onto my client machine. I don't require I don't require to again download Bootstrap onto my machine. Bootstrap doesn't require to be downloaded onto my machine again. Did you catch my point? There is no need of downloading Bootstrap onto my machine. Again, there is no need to download the Bootstrap onto my machine at any point of time. Really, guys, I'll tell you one thing. It's irritating to teach the class to you. Really, it is irritating. I'm asking and no one is responding. It will download. Yeah. Again, you don't require to download into your machine. There is no need of downloading into your machine again. Yeah, exactly. You can see the Vishal has posted the message to everyone. You can read. Using CDN, we can reduce our server bandwidth. Our server bandwidth will be decreased off. So our servers will be faster on the network. Client will be loading. My server will be fast. Client will be loading it from, I'm sorry. Client will be loading it from the CDN. I don't require to give to the client. Client system will connect to CDN, and from that CDN, it is going to load you the data. Did you catch the point? Okay. So that's what. Now, actually, when we are developing these applications here, basically what we do is, in the development time, again, without connecting to CDN, connecting to the CDN, our code we write like this. In the development time, without connecting to the CDN, we write the code like this. All of you observe this one. In the development time, we'll be using local Bootstrap. We'll put this in comment. When we go to production time, we will comment this one and we will uncomment this one. Did you guys understand my point? In the development environment, we'll be using local Bootstrap. In the production environment, we'll be using CDN. In the development time, we'll use local Bootstrap, and in the production, we'll be using CDNs. That is what exactly we do in the real time. So now when we go to production, before you go to production, we comment all the locals and we just use this one. But if you forgot to do this, again what will happen? Again it is going to load from the local. If you forgot to do this, again it will do from the local. But in the industry, in development, local Bootstrap files. In the production, we'll be using the content delivery network, so that our server bandwidth will be reduced. Our server load will be reduced. Client request comes to a page. Client wants to load Bootstrap, jQuery, and all. All these files will be loaded from different servers, not from my server. On my server, load will not be there. Client machine will be connecting to different servers to load the different files from the different places. Okay. So this is what exactly we do in the real time. What we do? In the development, we use local, and in the production, we'll be using the remote. But if you forgot to comment and uncomment, again, it will take the local. So to resolve this particular problem, we are provided with a new tag helper called as environment tag helper. There is a tag helper called as environment tag helper. Okay. Under that environment tag helper, environment tag helper. you have an attribute called as include. Include is equals to, if it is a development, include is equals to development. Means if it is a development environment, if it is a development environment, use this now. You understand? Environment, include development, use this. Means if it is a development environment, use this one. No, 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 no. I want in a production environment. Okay, just watch it. Environment. Exclude is equals to development. Can you understand that, guys? Did you understand? I don't require to again go for commenting, uncommenting, all that nonsense is not required. First time when I write, I'll say include development, use it. See, you can write like this also. Include, you can write like this also. Include production, comma, testing. Understood? Huh? Without again writing production, comma, testing, comma, all these things, simply say what? Exclude develop. Not aware, Vishal. Why you need to download? You generally already they provide you the CDNs now. Already they provides you CDN. From there only we just use. Why you again you wanted to your project pages? Your project pages. Your project pages. Azure is free for students now. Azure is free for students. You can use Azure only. Okay, guys, you can observe. This is how I write. Now see, what is my environment now? What is my environment, all of you? My environment is development or production. Now my environment is development. So run the code. My environment is development now. Because my environment is a development environment, if you go to view page source, see what is it using? Did you see what is it using? Local bootstrap. It is using the local bootstrap. Now what I'll do is I will open the properties window, launch settings.json, and in launch settings.json under IIS Express, I'm changing to production. Under IIS Express, because I'm running on IIS Express only now, right? I'm changing it to production. Okay, when I just go for changing this to production, here, automatically what has to happen is it has to go for loading it from the CDN now. If you observe, the account controller, just a minute here. Once clear the page history, clear the history once. Sometimes build issues, that's all. Either it's a build issue or clear your browser history. Changes may not immediately reflect. See, I just a build issue, not a, I did not even clear the history. It's a build issue. It did not build. I rebuild the project and you see now it is loading from where? See, it is loading from CDN now. Are you guys clear? It is loading from CDN. So that's a great feature. Basically, these two features, one is image and one is environment. These two are excellent features what we have here. One is the image and the second one is the environment are the two excellent features what we are provided in this case. The image feature is also a great feature. And this environment feature also. The environment is also one of the great feature what we have. Okay. Yeah. Given all the things here, the code for you. Here I given a CDN link. Here in the notes I given one CDN link for you. Yeah, Cloudflare. That CDN link only given, but this is old version. This is 5.1.1 and the latest one is 5.2.2. I already posted for you in the notes. Sorry, I already posted for you in the chat box. In the chat window, I already posted. Yeah, this is the latest version. In the notes, you'll find the old one. That is 5.1.1 and right now this is the latest. Okay, I'll update the notes. Meanwhile, you all, you all, what you'll do is you just use that what I have just sent in the chat window to you. Okay. So did you guys understand how to use this tag helpers? How to use the tag helpers? We can create our own tag helpers here. We can create our own tag helpers. Very easy coding. We can create our own tag helpers, which is a very easy coding what we have. I'll show you an example like creating, using our own tag helpers. I'll show you an example using our own tag helpers. How do you create your own tag helpers? I'll show you. Okay. So we are going to learn about creating our own tag helpers now. Watch it. What exactly is my requirement, you know? This is one more thing. Suppose see in your code here, in your page, if at all you want to see the environment, in the page, if at all you want to see the environment, all of you, I'm telling you, in your page, if at all you want to see which environment are you working with, if at all you want to see which environment you're working with, we have an option, guys. We have an option to see the environment you're working with. Look at this, all of you. Environment. You can just print the environment name. But to do this, you require to import one namespace. We require to import one namespace or not like import. Also, we need to inject one code call says inject. We need to inject it. You will be having a doubt what is this inject. I will teach you guys. We have a dependency injection. I'm going to talk about the dependency injection in the next sessions to you. So for the time being, ignore what is this inject, but I can just use this inject and inject the things for you. Okay. With this, you can find out the environment. With this, you can find out the environment. Run the code. Yeah, we'll show you. From database programming, I'll show you. From database programming, I'll show you. See guys, which environment are you? Production. You're now in the production environment. Open the launch settings.json. Open the launch settings.json file. Once rebuild the project. Run again. You're in the development environment, watch. You can find out your environment in the code in this process. Okay. Fine. We'll see creating our own tag helpers here. Generally, sometimes see in your, have you noticed that in your application, some of the pages, some of the web pages, you'll find this option. Contact us, like a support link for sending emails and all. Email links will find on the pages now. When you just click on them, they'll show you email links. For example, say I'm using a support. I want an email link now. I want an email link. When you click on that link, means it has to show the email. When you click on the email, it has to automatically open you the Outlook. It has to automatically open the Outlook to send a mail. We do it in the real time, like support links. Suppose if at all you want to get the email link here, you want to display an email. If at all you want to display an email, how do you show? Simply I'm typing m.bangarraju @gmail.com. I'm writing this code. When I write this, what happens? It will show me. It will show me. But this is not a link. This is not a link. But when I click on it, it has to automatically give an option to send a mail. In your mobile phones and all, you find, see, when you click on email link, automatically it goes to your Gmail and you'll have an option to send a mail. If you want to do that, if at all you want to do that, how do you write, we just use the email tag, sorry, anchor tag only. Href is equals to if you observe this, if you just observe this, guys, now the refresh is not working. Spelling wrong? Where the spelling is wrong? Oh, here, thank you. Href is equals to. Yeah, this is coming. But when I click on this, nothing happens. When I click on this, nothing happens. See, when I click on this, it is trying to open in a browser like this. No, I want to open an Outlook. I want to open Outlook. If you want to open Outlook, how do you write, mail to You need to say mail to, and then you just require to use it. Mail to. You need to prefix it with mail to and write. So yeah, because I put mail to, when I click on this, my system is Outlook. Outlook is not opening. Is my syntax wrong? Mail to, that's it, yeah. Like this, huh? Should I give a space? Let me see. At the syntax error. Anyone have an idea? Right on. href is equals to mail to, right? Encryption type not required here. Why form tag? Why I'm asking a link tag and you're telling form tag. In anchor tag, how to do that? That is the question. I written right on this only. Mail to colon your email ID. Correct? Is my Outlook not working? I need to verify that basically. Yeah, maybe my Outlook problem. Outlook opening. Office 365. It's configured to my company account. And I'm showing the text as support. My Outlook is configured to my company account here. Your computer trusted platform mode malfunctioned. There's something wrong with my Outlook on my machine. It's not opening. Hmm. Yeah, guys, there's a problem with my Outlook on my system. But generally, when I click on this support, Outlook should open. Okay. Yeah. You saw that right now it is malfunctioning and something wrong. I need to update it. Okay. No issues. I will only explain the concept tomorrow. I'll show that in the classroom. So in the classroom, it is working. It's my personal laptop. It's at my personal desktop. There's something wrong on my personal desktop. Okay. So you guys understand this one. When I click on support here, automatically what will happen, Outlook will open and the Outlook will have a two address. The two address. Um, the from address and to address automatically take the to address. But what about the from address? From address is when you configure Outlook, you can just configure with your email ID. Okay. When you configure with your email ID, then automatically it is just going to launch with that as a from address. And here what you see is the to address. See, when I'm opening the Outlook, here I can configure. I have some problem not opening, but I'm just telling you the point. When I open it, it'll ask you to configure the Outlook. You can configure with your Gmail. You can configure Outlook with your Gmail. When you configure Outlook with your Gmail, you already password and all. Automatically, when you click on the support link, Outlook will open for you. And Outlook will have from address as your email ID. And the to address will be the email ID what I used in my code. The to address will be the email ID what I'm using in my code. I'm using m.pangaraju@gmail.com. This will be the to address. Did you guys understand me? Means from your inbox, from your outbox, you're sending a mail to my inbox. From your outbox, you're sending a mail to my inbox. Okay. So like this, we can just use the links here. Ahref is equals to. Ahref is equals to. So here we just give the email ID here and the email ID should be built up like this. So this is how we just create the links. This is how we create the links actually. Suppose you wanted to send mails to different places. You want to send a mail to support@nareshit.com. That is what. For any marketing inquiry, you want to send a mail. You want to send a mail now. marketing@nareshit.com. If you want any marketing inquiry, you're just going to write there marketing@nareshit.com. Okay. And same way, guys, if at all you just want any sales inquiry, if at all you're going for any sales inquiry, I will put one more link here. Sales at rate. For support, I'm putting the text as support team. Means immediately a mail goes to support team. If you're marketing, the mail goes to marketing team. And if at all you just have any sales inquiry, the mail goes to sales team. Now when I run this, these three links will come. When you click on the link, automatically Outlook will open and you can just go for sending a mail to the concerned party. You can send a mail to the concerned party now. Here I will say, contact us. I'm doing some designing there, nothing simple. Yeah, contact us. Mm, yeah, contact us. For support, contact the support team. For marketing, contact the marketing team. For sales, contact the sales team. Is the point clear, all of you? Okay, when you click on this, the appropriate mails should be generated. The appropriate mail should be generated. A mail to the support team, a mail to the marketing team, a mail to the sales team, the corresponding mails to be generated. And how are you doing it? We are doing it by using a href tag. We are doing it by using a href tag. No, guys, this href tag is not going to be much more user friendly for me. I want to use I want to create a new tag now. I want to create a new tag, something like email tag. Actually, we used the environment tag now. We used the environment tag. HTML doesn't have environment tag. HTML doesn't have a built-in environment tag, but we are able to use it in our page now. Generally, HTML doesn't have environment tag at all. We are able to use it. So how these are user created? These are a tag newly generated for you by Microsoft. Same way, in my application also, I want to create a new tag called as email tag. I want to use a tag called as email. Generally, email tag is not available. Yes, it is not available. I want to create. Are you getting my point? Email tag is not available. What I want is I wanted to create it here. Okay. And I want to write here an attribute called as target hyphen address. Target hyphen address is equals to I wanted to use this content here by email. All of you carefully observe. My intention is I wanted to use the email tag in my application like this. Email tag is not there. I wanted to. I just wanted to use it. It means I want to implement some logic for using email tag in my application. If I write like this, what should it generate, you know? It has to render me a href is equals to, here I won't write mail to and all. I won't write mail to and all. What I'll write is only, I will only write like this, email target so and so address. Okay. So carefully observe, email target address, whom the mail has to be sent. That's all. If I write like this has to generate me the code. This has to generate me the code like this, mail to colon support@nareshit.com. And what is the text? The text should be, because you did not give any specific text, it should be support@nareshit.com by anchor tag. If view page, rendered output should be as below. Did you guys understand me? Okay. So I won't write this one. I will write like this. If I write like this, it has to generate me this one. Because I'm not going to use this in the code. I want to use this in my code. Understood, all of you? Fine. Now, what is the text coming here? Support@naresheti.com. What is the text coming? Support@naresheti.com is the text what I'm coming here. No, I want to give some text on my own. I want to give some text on my own. Okay, if you want to give some text on your own, I wanted to add one more extra attribute there. I want to add one more extra attribute. For example, if you're writing inner HTML, something like a inner HTML is equals to marketing. Inner HTML is equals to marketing. If I write like this, this should be the rendered output. If I write like this should be the rendered output. Did you understand this one? You see here, I did not give the inner HTML. Because I did not give the inner HTML, what is it taking now? It is taking support@naresheti. But if I give the inner HTML, it has to take that only as my inner HTML. Or another thing also I want to. Suppose if we use the tag like this, not target address, not as target address. Suppose if I use some different attributes here. What are the different attributes? Like mail to sales, mail to sales, domain name naresheti.com, inner HTML sales. Suppose if I write like this, it has to generate me sales@naresheti. Look at this now. Mail to domain name inner HTML. The generated code should be mail to sales@naresheti.com sales. Did you understand the third one? But now the big doubt what will be in our question is, okay, what is the big doubt in our question, you know? The big doubt in our question is, sir, what is this email? What is this email? what is this mail to, what is this target address, what is this domain name, what is inner HTML, what are all these things? Nothing is there. Nothing is there. All this should be defined by me. We need to define all these things. Are you clear? We need to define all these things on our own. We are going to define all these things on our own. Are you guys clearer? Everything should be defined by us. So first we need to write, see, when I explained you in the yesterday session, when I use label tag, when I use label tag here, what did I say? Array, when you use a label tag, internally there is one class called as label tag helper. The label tag helper class will automatically come into action, right? Last day I said you this point. When I use a label tag, automatically label tag helper will come. Suppose you're using a input tag. If you're using an input tag, automatically there is a class called as input tag helper class which comes into picture. Okay. Same way, if I use image tag, internally there is a class called as image tag helper which comes into picture. There is a class called as image tag helper that comes into picture. Are you guys following me or not? If I use a label tag, this class comes into action. If I use input tag, this class comes into action. If I use image tag, this class comes into action. Same way, I'm using a tag here. What is the tag? Email tag. When I use email tag, can you people guess which class should come into action? Perfect. Email tag helper. See, this label tag helper, input tag helper, image tag helper, same way, we also used environment tag helper, environment. When I use this environment, it has to bring a class into action. What is the class? Environment tag helper. Same like this, when I use email, what should come? Email tag helper. See, this label tag helper, input tag helper, image tag helper, environment tag helper, all these classes are defined by whom? All these classes are defined by whom? Did you define these classes? We did not define them. Who defined those classes to us? We did not define those classes. Who defined those classes? Microsoft defined. Perfect. Microsoft defined these classes. Same like this here. We are going to define a class now called email tag helper. Guys, listen. We are going to define a class called email tag helper. This class will come into action whenever we use email tag in our page. Got the point? The above four classes are defined by Microsoft, which comes into action when we use the corresponding tags. When we use the corresponding tags in our views. Okay. The above 4 classes are defined by Microsoft in our libraries, which comes into action when we use the corresponding tags in our views. Same as the above, we can also define our own tag helper classes, which comes into action when we use the corresponding tags. When we use an appropriate tag, For example, if we define a class called email tag helper, then it comes into action when we use email tag, in our view pages. Are you guys clearer? Any doubts, let me know. How to write the code, I'll tell you. How to write, but I hope you understood my intentions there. Everyone clear now? So what we need to do now, just watch it, guys. Watch it, all of you. Look at this email tags, what I used here. Look at the email tags, what I used here. Tell me how many attributes are required here. How many attributes are required? Watch the things what I selected there and tell me how many attributes are going to be required. Just a minute here, from here. Look at all the 3 email tags what I used and find out how many attributes are required. And what are those also? How many attributes and what are those? Five is wrong answer. 3 is also wrong. Maybe something link we invoke partial pages. We are using tags. We are consuming our code which is written for custom tag. Did not understand here what you're telling. Partial page something. 4 are the attributes. What are the 4? Tell me. Come on, fast. Mail to, target address, domain name, inner HTML. Perfect. What are the 4? Target address. Next, inner HTML. Next, mail to. Next, domain name. These are the 4 attributes what you just required to define here. Is that clearer, all of you? To fulfill the above requirement, we need to define a class. We need to define a class and then define 4 properties in the class. Coding is very simple here. Coding is going to be very, very simple. The coding will be very, very simple. Okay. So if at all you want to define a tag helper, if at all you just wanted to create a tag helper, these are the steps, guys. These are the steps. Custom tag helpers. We can also develop our own tag helpers and consume them in our applications. And to do that, we need to do the following steps. Step 1, all of you watch it. Step 1. What is step 1? In step 1, guys, you just require to go for adding a new folder in the project with the name called as tag helpers. You're required to add a add a folder in your project with the name called as tag helpers, a new folder. Why? Array, all controller classes in one folder, all models classes in one folder. Same way, all tag helper classes in one folder. Okay. Step 2. You need to define a new class. We need to define a new class. Yeah, we already planned the class name also. What is our class name? Email tag helper. We already planned a class name also. What is the class name? Email tag helper. And that class should inherit from a predefined class called as tag helper. See, just like controllers inherit from the class called controller, tag helpers will inherit from a class called as a tag helper. I repeat, just like controllers inherit from a class called controllers, tag helpers will inherit from a class called as tag helper. Now, under the class, define all the properties we are expecting. Under the class, define all the properties we are expecting. Properties now, you know how to define the properties. You can define all the 4 properties. And the 4th step is important. What is the 4th step? You need to write some logic now. All that logic should be written in a method called process. All the logic should be written in a method called as process. And this process is a virtual method in the tag helper which we are going to override. It's a virtual method which we are going to override. And next, to consume the tag helpers, already explained you, we require to import the namespace. We require to import the namespace where in view imports.cshtml. Finally, you can start consuming the new tag helper class in the required views. You can start consuming them in your code now. Okay, it's a very simple and easy process, all of you. A very simple and easy process, all of you. Just observe. Now, when I run this page, here, if I run this page here, wherever I use the email, system won't recognize them at all. Why? Because there is no built-in tag called as email at all in HTML, and the browser doesn't understand this also. All of you observe it. When I say /account, I left off this also here. Oh, remove this href tags. Remove the href tags here. What is our plan to use? Our plan to use support @ like this. This is one option I set you. Second one, target address is marketing. Second thing, I want to use an attribute called as mail to. Mail to the text. No, not mail to. Inner HTML. And guys, these names, what is used here, inner HTML, these are my own choice. You can use your own names. I am thinking if these are the names, it will be good and I started, that's all. If you think these names are not convenient for you, you can use whatever names you want. That's your choice. Third option, email. I want to say mail to. Here I will say the whom I wanted to mail. And here I will say what is that? Domain name, domain -name, domain name. What I want to use the domain name is naresheti.com, and inner HTML is sales. And you guys observe, if you guys run this one, property names, that's all. If you run this one, these email tags are not recognized by the browser. You're not getting any output, see. Why, sir? Because browser doesn't understand the email tags. Browser doesn't understand the email tag because in HTML, we don't have any tag called email. Did you catch my point, all of you? What is coming here? Email is only coming. When email is coming, browser doesn't understand the email. When browser doesn't understand the email, it is not showing anything at all. When the browser doesn't understand the email, it is not showing anything at all. Okay. But if at all you want it to be rendered into the anchor tags, guys, see the simplest process. Step 1. Simple code here, 5 minutes code. That's all. Watch it. Right click. Add a new folder. What is the folder name? Tag helpers. Step 2. Add a class. Let me name it as, what is the class name we planned, guys? Email tag helper. Email tag helper. And this class should inherit from the predefined class tag helper. This should inherit from the predefined class tag helper. Automatically, the namespace is coming on the top, you see. Now define the 4 properties you want. Define the 4 properties you want. And you guys, I don't require to teach you how to define the properties. And all of you watch, these are the property names. Yeah, that's a good convention. That's a good pattern. Okay, the 4 properties, mail to, domain name, target address, inner HTML. And finally, what you require to do is, you just require to override a method. What is the method? Process is the method. Process is the method what you require to override. What is the method? Process is the method what you require to override. You require to come to the process method and you need to write the logic here. Simple logic. Simple logic is what you require to write. Very simple here. What is that, Just say. Here, it will be taking a parameter called as tag helper output. It will be taking a parameter called as a tag helper output. Okay. Now you should write output dot tag name. What is the tag you are expecting? Tell me. When I use email, what is the tag you're expecting? Anchor tag only na? Not email yaar. Rendered HTML should be anchor na. What did I say? You are using email. What should render? Anchor. Are you guys clear? When I use email, what it has to render? Anchor tag. So when the email is used, the output tag name should be anchor tag. The output tag name should be anchor tag. Anchor tag is what it has to generate. Okay. And all of you carefully check out this code. All of you check out this. This is a simple if condition. I'm declaring an address here. I'm declaring an address and look at here. If the target address is not null, if the target address is not null or empty, what I'm saying, address is equals to mail to target address. Means what is the meaning? If the user has given target address, look guys, look in your code. If the user has given the target address, take the target address. If the user has given the target address, take the target address. If the user did not give the target address, then take the mail to and domain name. If the user has given the target address, take the target address. If the user did not give the target address, take mail to and the domain name. Watch this if condition, all of you. Is null or empty? Is null or empty means it is going to check it is not null and it is not empty. So it returns true if it is null or empty. If it is not null or empty, take that as it is. If it is null or empty, take mail to and domain name. Did you understand the if condition? And one more thing is left out. What is the other thing? Inner HTML is left out. Inner HTML is left out. I'll tell you how to write the inner HTML. Can you understand this code, guys? Can you understand this code now? Output tag name is anchor tag. Output tag attribute dot set attribute. What you set the attribute? href is the attribute. What is the attribute? Address. So address is fine. What next? Inner text. What should come now? Inner text. All of you, look at this, all of you. Look at this one. If inner HTML is present, look at this. If inner HTML is present, that should be the inner HTML. What is this, all of you? Output.content.set content. Set content means the content between the tags. Listen, set attribute, add attribute means it will add an attribute. Set content means it will set the inner HTML. Did you catch my point? When I say set attribute, it will set an attribute for the anchor tag. When I say set content, it will set the content in between the tags. Got it? Set attribute will add you the attribute. Set content will add you the inner text. Okay? Watch it. If you have an inner HTML, use that as an inner HTML. If you don't have an inner HTML, if you have target address, use a target address as the inner HTML. No, inner HTML is also not there. Target address is also not there. Then use mail to and domain name as the inner HTML. Different combinations what I used there. That's it. Did you understand? It's a simple if else block here. If that is present, take this one. If not present, take this one. If not present, take this one. That's all. It's a simple coding what we are doing. That's it. Okay. Next, the next code, the next thing is go to the view imports.cshtml file now. Now go to the view imports.cshtml file and import this now. What is it? @add tag helper star comma your namespace name. Your namespace. Simply what's your project? MVC. What's your project, guys? MVC core tag helpers. Array, your project name, MVC core tag helpers. Okay. Now once come to the index page, and run it once, guys. Check it out. All the email tags are working now. All the email tags are working now. Verify. Just a minute here. We made a small mistake. Here we don't require to write mail to. Simply what you require to write is support. That's all. Not mail to. Just only email IDs. No need to write mail to. I done that mistake. And right click and say view page source. Now all of you observe there are not email tags. Everything is converted into an anchor tag. You noticed it? All are converted into anchor tags now. Put a breakpoint in the process method. Put a breakpoint in the process method. Watch. All of you carefully observe it. First one. Take the first one. What did you give? Only target address, right? Array, see all of you. You are given only target address. Am I right? And if you observe your code now, if you go to the email tag helper and watch it, see now, the tag name is an anchor tag. Now it is checking. Is the target address available? Yes, a target address is available. So when target address is available, it is taking that as a mail to target address. Mail to target address, and that is set as a href. That is set as a href. Now it is checking. Do you have a inner HTML? No, inner HTML is not there. If inner HTML is not there, do you have a target address? Yes, I have a target address. Then the target address is set as a content. Then the target address is set as a content. Okay, second tag. Guys, second tag. What did we use? In the second tag, we used the target address and inner HTML, right? In the second, we used target address and inner HTML. Okay, watch again. Debug. So now we have a target address. Checking for the target address existing. So taken the target address. Now it is checking. Do you have a inner HTML? Yes, I have inner HTML marketing. So what is it setting the content? The content is set as inner HTML now. The content is set as inner HTML now. Okay. Third tag. What is the third tag? You are using mail to domain name and inner HTML. What you are using? Mail to domain name inner HTML. Debug it now. See, do you have a target address? No, target address is not there. So comes to else part and taking mail to and domain name. Put your mouse there. See, mail to sales domain name naresheti.com. Okay. And now next it is checking. Do you have an inner HTML? Yes, inner HTML is there. So it is taking the inner HTML and rendering you the appropriate code. Did you understand all of you now? Simple code here, a very simple process. What did I do? I added one folder. In the folder, I defined a class. In that class, I defined all the required properties. After requiring all the properties, you need to write the code in one method, one and only one method. What is the method? Process method. For this process, you have a parameter. What is the parameter? Tag helper output. What is the output that has to be generated? First, you should tell the tag name. Next, whatever attributes you want, you need to set it by using set attribute. Whatever inner text you want, you're required to set it by using set content. This is to add attributes. This is to set the content. Any doubts? Practice it first. Practice it. If at all you have any questions, let me know in the next class. Practice first. Let me know in the next class. Practice all the things. Directly don't jump here. Practice from the login page what I said you, how to work with the tag helpers, environment tag helper, image tag helper, everything practice. Finally come here and create your tag helper. That's it. Okay. Let me stop it here. We'll meet tomorrow in the classroom. Have a nice day, guys. Have a nice Sunday. We'll meet tomorrow.